Hello, in this segment, we will discuss the latest One Piece chapter spoilers. The title of chapter 1077 is You Should Have Realized That Sooner, and it is speculated that this refers to Zoro realizing that Seraphim is somehow connected to King or the Lunarians. In the cover story titled Germa 60 SIXSA. An emotionless excursion, Volume 32, Judge and Caesar stop fighting after realizing that their true obstacle is Vegapunk. The cover story takes place in the present timeline. In the beginning of the chapter, Sentomaru instructs all the workers of Egghead Island to evacuate, citing the tragic incident that occurred at O'Hara. The chapter also includes recap panels of the O'Hara incident, similar to those seen in the Levely saga. Sentomaru warns that something even worse may happen at Egghead Island. It's highly unlikely that any fans have forgotten about the devastating Buster Call on O'Hara, which occurred when scholars attempted to uncover the truth. It appears that the world government is attempting to destroy Egghead Island in a similar manner to how they destroyed Lelouchia Kingdom. They may use a combination of both the Buster Call and other mysterious methods as seen in the destruction of Lelouchia. The chapter then cuts to Luffy's group, consisting of Lucci, Zoro, and Kaku, who are still battling against Seraphims. Despite their efforts, including attacks like Gomu Gomu no Kong Orbit and Shur Sun Sun, they are unable to land any significant damage on the enemy. Seraphim simply get up after taking the attacks, without showing any signs of damage, which leaves Luffy feeling frustrated. He even goes as far as to question whether they are on the same as Kaido or something. There is a high probability that Vegapunk managed to extract Kaido's DNA and incorporated it into the Seraphim to make them invincible. Given that they were created to replace the 7 warlords of the sea, it is plausible that this was done intentionally. Additionally, there is a possibility that Kaido belongs to a different species than regular giants. The fight briefly comes to a halt as Luffy and Lucci revert back to their human forms. During this intermission, Zoro realizes that Seraphim's abilities are similar to those of King. Shaka then explains that the government used King's blood, which was taken while he was in prison, to boost the power of the Seraphim. With this information, Shaka departs from Luffy's group to search for Stella. As it turns out, the wings behind the Seraphim are not just for decoration, they actually possess Lunarian blood. This raises the question of how the world government managed to defeat the Lunarians, given their apparent power. Since Zoro has already fought Lunarians, he informs everyone about their weakness. He tells Luffy, Lucci, and Kaku to pay attention to the flames on the back of the Seraphims, and to attack them when the flames go out. Zoro also explains that the Seraphims are practically invincible when the flames on their back are burning. Lucci responds by saying that at least they now know how to fight them. It is surprising that the top agent of the world government doesn't have any idea about the weakness of the Seraphims. Zoro explained the characteristics of Lunarians based on King's appearance, mentioning their black wings, white hair, brown skin, and flames on their back. Luffy, Lucci, and Kaku exclaimed to Zoro, "You should have realized that sooner." The fight against the Seraphim continued. The chapter shifts to Nami's group, where Edison has been completely destroyed by S-Shark's attack. Although Edison is still moaning, the damage is extensive. In order to save the group, Nami uses her Thunderbolt attack, but S-Shark gets up without any visible damage. Suddenly, Sanji appears and starts fighting against S-Shark to protect the group. The chapter now shifts to Usopp's group, who are carrying Pythagoras' head but are stopped by S-Snake. Lilith uses her bubble gun on S-Snake, revealing that it contains sea energy like Kairoseki, which weakens the ability's user. Frankie then holds a bubble and uses it to pin S-Snake down to the ground, encasing her in a solid ball. However, S-Snake starts crying and says she's in pain, causing Frankie to panic and apologize. In his panic, his hand slips and S-Snake manages to escape and kicks Frankie, turning him to stone. After that, S-Snake warns Usopp to not interfere in the battle while Lilith gives a cute wink. The group is charmed by her cuteness and smiles. However, S-Snake uses her ability and turns Usopp and Lilith to stone. It's unclear if Pythagoras' head has also been affected. The scene cuts to Shaka, who has arrived at the Old Devil Fruit research room underground. It is a dark and abandoned lab that hasn't been used in some time. Shaka discovers the secret prison where Stella and all the Cypher Pole agents are being held. Shaka is relieved to see Stella and asks him about the person who did this before proceeding to release him. While Shaka is trying to release Stella, Stella realizes that someone is behind Shaka and asks if Shaka brought someone with him. Shaka turns around and hears footsteps. A mysterious person walks down the stairs behind Shaka and shoots him in the head with a gun. We can't see the person's face, and the gun appears to be a normal firearm, not something futuristic. Shaka's head explodes, and blood splatters everywhere, leaving Stella in shock. We are unsure if Shaka was shocked to see the person's face or if he was shocked by his comrade's sudden death. It's unclear whether the mysterious person had been at the old lab all along or if they possessed an ability to conceal themselves under someone's shadow. That's it, there will be no break next week. Please stay tuned for more One Piece related content and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon.